Hello, we are doing reveal a card from our pick a card process that we began earlier this week, and we're about to reveal card number 2. The card decks we're choosing from, there's 4 of them and they are all my own self-published decks, and card number 2 is the Aura card deck. 88 colors, 88 Aura colors, and these are common colors that I find in the aura when I am sketching, reading and healing. And our reveal is playful. I'm going to read this card in 4 different ways because I want to demonstrate a technique that I use when I am reading the cards, but also when I'm teaching other people how to read my aura cards or oracle cards or even tarot cards in general. Because you can frame the lens and therefore the way that you arrive at the end message in different ways. And a lot of people don't go into reading being aware that they may have parked themselves in one particular lane and that they have choices. So let me demonstrate. Our first one is to think of the card as a mirror. And so if you have a playful orange aura, it can mean that you are playful, light-hearted, relaxed, easygoing, that you adapt well to challenges when they come your way. It could also mean that you're quite sociable and friendly, that you're in touch with your inner child, that you are good in terms of connecting with community and working with large groups of people. Depending on the other colors we find in your aura, I find some people with playful orange can be fairly outgoing. They can also have a lovely entrepreneurial kind of mindset, hence the adaptability. When given lemons, make lemonade. You know, being able to take what comes your way and stay fairly optimistic. So it's a beautiful, beautiful color. I often find that when people are going through a playful orange phase, and this is the second way that you can read any tarot card, oracle card or aura card, is to think of it not so much as a personality trait, a mirror reflecting you back to yourself, but a mirror reflecting you in this moment, a phase or a stage that you're going through. And so here's a different way that we can read it. You might be going through a time in your life where, rather than withdrawing or being more introverted or staying at home, you are being more gregarious and outgoing, more sociable, that you are spending time with people, say, as opposed to periods of time where we might be feeling more serious or more weighed down, more heavy. This could be reflecting a period of time where you are feeling a little bit more lighthearted and easygoing and relaxed. And when problems come your way, you just go, yep, I've got this. I can see a creative solution to this. So you can see how we can take the "this is who you are" traits and apply them to "this is who you are at this moment." And of course, it could be temporary. And it could even be, it's another way of thinking of it, skill sets or personality traits that are evolving or developing in you. So maybe you have tended to be a little bit more serious or even anxious about life, but recently you've been learning how to take a breath. You've been learning how to see the funny side of even difficult situations. I always say with playful, it really gives us this ability to zoom out, to stand back from things and to maybe take life and even ourselves a little bit less seriously, a bit less personally, I guess you could say. So if we're saying this is prediction, then we really just take what we've already done, but we use it in a forward-leaning tense. So we say you're about to become more sociable, come out of your shell. You're about to relax more, or be able to find the humor in things that have previously felt a little bit challenging or difficult for you. Our last one is where we think of the card as advice. And this is a common way that people have of reading the cards. I would say, aside from, people's tendency to fixate on prediction, this is the other approach that people take, is guidance and advice. I love it. I would say it's probably a close second favorite for me after the concept of the mirror. And certainly for me, often when I'm reading my aura cards, I kind of tend to use a blend of all of these approaches, but it depends upon where the card is positioned in the spread. And that's why we have a layout spread, right? So in my layout spread, I have a card for each one of the chakras. And so quite often the advice one is about what's going on in the spirit guide area. So again, it's like this higher guidance kind of idea. And so if we are using this card to give advice, then what we're saying is that it's time to lighten up. It's time to find a sense of humor, to adapt and go with the flow. Now, I think that it's possible to take this kind of advice on without feeling as though you're being, you know, your more serious issues or concerns or the heavy stuff you're going through is being gaslit or dismissed in any kind of way. Both can be true. We can be going through difficult things in life. We can be dealing with challenges and still find a sense of humor, even while we're having compassion for ourselves and even while we're being honest and real with ourselves about what our emotions are and how we actually feel about these things. So the two can be true. And I think this introduces a really beautiful technique that I teach in my Parenting with Lub, L-U-B, or Love Your Inner Child or Yourself. And so this is where we use love and understanding with boundaries, and it works in with what I call my 50-50 method. And the 50-50 method is a start with sitting with, owning, validating, honoring how you actually feel about what's going on without dismissing or discounting or trying to fix it. Do that first. But that doesn't mean we have to stay there. You know, I think there's this wonderful dual process, hence the 50-50 method, where we can do that first and then extend a lifeline to ourselves and ask how I would rather feel. And in this instance, playful is inviting you to find the humor, to give yourself some light relief, to distract yourself with some sacred play, to have a little bit of fun, to remember that maybe the difficult thing or the challenge that you're going through is only a part of your life experience. If we were going to pull back and look at the painting from a broader perspective, we would perhaps see that there is a little bit of laughter and warmth and light and fun and play in other parts of our lives, but perhaps we haven't been paying attention to them. So very much when it comes to how we can read this card as an advice card, it's saying do that. Find the humor, watch some comedy, spend some time with your friends, connect with your inner child. I think we can think of connecting with inner child, sure, is about holding space. You know, that first 50% of the 50-50 method is very much holding space for the wounded child, however he or she feels. But then we can have that other part that says, well, what about my playful, fun, lighthearted inner child? Where is that part of me? Have I been spending time with them? And if they were going to be my spirit guide and give me advice right now, what would they be saying?